27th. I guess I should know what date it is, huh, guys? We've got a couple of days until Thursday Night Football, Falcons, Panthers. My name is Kay Adams. Kyle Brandt is here. Nate Burleson. Mike Garafolo joining us from his home camp as well. Big show, 3 hours long, angry runs and all of it. But we've got highlights to wrap up Week 7. Kyle, do we have to?
Let's do it! We have to. We have a date with destiny. Chicago Bears is a good team, have a good record. What about the Rams? SoFi Stadium, Los Angeles, California. Jared Goff's never thrown a touchdown against the Bears. He has 5 picks. That's not good. Let's take care of that early. Scoreless, 4 minutes to play in the first quarter. That is Josh Reynolds, touchdown. Now, how did this happen? You might have seen the Rams run to the line. Watch Buster Screen, the nickelback for Chicago. He gets caught up in the traffic a little bit, sprints over at the last second, cannot get to Reynolds. Buster Screen was in our studio once when the magician was doing magic tricks. His mind was blown. I think he was just as lost on that play. It's all right, Buster. You'll live to fight another day. Nick Foles, how good is he? 7-3, waiting, looking, launching. Nope. They tried to get Darnell Mooney going a lot in this game. If you're not familiar with Mooney, very young player, very fast, athletic. You'll see what I mean. Boom! There's some of that, too. Now, here's the problem. That's Leonard Floyd, who had 2 sacks. Former Bear that they tried to get going for years opposite Khalil Mack, couldn't do it. Look at this one now. That's a miss to Mooney, but watch the route. Watch Nate. Watch this route that he puts on Jalen Ramsey. Not this angle. You're going to see this double move. Oh, goodbye. Goodbye. I mean, that should be a 95-yard touchdown unless DK Metcalf was in the game to run him down, which he was not. 10-3. Look out. Oh, boy. At the 5. The 4. Are you kidding me? That is our guy, Malcolm Brown. I thought he was going to go all the way in. Good Lord. Hakeem Hicks, hands on the hips. He was great last night, but not great enough. Give it to Malcolm again. Bam! Now, this is Malcolm versus Roquan. Right there on the goal line. Oh, my gosh. This is when Steve Latimer plays against Iowa and the program on the goal line and gets run over. Roquan's supposed to be the baddest dude on the defense this side of Mac. Not there. 17-3. Nick looking, 2nd and goal, deflected, picked. It is all coming up Rams. That's Taylor Rapp. The rap game. It's a rap, Nate. It's a rap. This is a West Coast rapper right here in Los Angeles, of course. We know that doesn't end well sometimes, but it did for the Rams there. Now what do we got? 1st and 10. Goff, Everett, bye. Not Jim, Gerald. That's a different Ram. Different 12-touch plugger. 24-3. Come on, Chicago. You're 5-1. All right, 3rd and 8. Anthony Miller makes a great catch. The rule incomplete. But look at that's an awesome catch, right? Really good. Maybe a little momentum here, but hold on a second. On 4th and 1, the Bears are going to go for it as the chatter continues. What does Matt Nagy dial up? Cordero Patterson at running back. They toss it, and bam, toss this. Bears fans have seen Cordero Patterson so many times run the ball in short yardage. Is it just me, or does it never work? 4th quarter, Matt Nagy, BU, look at the play card, 24-3, a 4th and goal. Got to go for it. And they sacked him. You just don't see many sacks on 4th and goal, kids. It's not something that happens. Justin Hollins with a loss of 8 yards. Nick Foles, after a defensive touchdown by Eddie Jackson, nope. They were already down 2 touchdowns with 3 minutes left. It would have been an uphill climb, but that's Jalen. He gets them. He runs off with it. The Rams, from start to finish, and I mean that, better than the better team in this one. 5-2 versus 5-2, but these two teams seem worlds apart. Sean McVay, man, real excited about that D, man, who technically didn't give up a touchdown. Take it away, Coach.
You know, defense was outstanding all night. They got stop after stop, big-time turnovers, 4th down stops, turnovers in the red zone. You know, Jalen and Taylor Rapp end up coming up with interceptions. So you can't say enough about their effort. You know, the 1 touchdown they did give was on our offense. So defense came through in a big way, and I was really pleased with our team's overall effort.
Mike G, I imagine Marcus Davenport and Cam Jordan are licking their chops, excited to face this Chicago Bears squad with their offensive line issues. We'll get to that. What did you learn about the Rams in this win on Monday Night Football?
Yeah, I mean, don't look at it like a Chicago offensive weakness as much as a Rams defensive strength. And McVay talking about it right there with Brandon Staley, his new defensive coordinator, coming in and really bringing an attitude. I mean, it's palpable. You can see it. You can see the way that they bring that physicality with the way that they hit. We saw it from Jalen Ramsey a couple of weeks ago against Golden Tate, and in some other instances, bam, right there. It was a little late. I got a delay on the home cam. What do you want me to tell you? But there is a physicality to this defense that you need to have if you want to compete in the NFC West. And beyond what I'm seeing there, I'm looking at the stat sheet, I'm looking at the numbers, I'm seeing a team that has given up 10 or fewer points in 3 of its last 4 games. That doesn't happen in this league anymore. This defense is on a whole nother level right now. Stop thinking about the Rams as McVay's toy as far as the offensive side. Start thinking of them more as a team that is going to dictate what is happening on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And we used to think that Sean McVay's toys were finesse toys. No, these dudes are action figures, G.I. Joes with the Kung Fu grip. Last night I was watching the game, and immediately after that Malcolm Brown run, I sent an email to my producers and said, listen, I need that run because this is the new ground and pound Rams. No more finesse Rams. Yeah, they threw the ball for 216 yards. That was impressive. But what was even more impressive? That collectively they ran for $160. Darrell Henderson, Malcolm Brown, and depending on the game plan, Robert Woods gets involved in the running game. I like the fact that Sean McVay can mix it up. The host of wide receivers and tight ends, they can make plays when Goff gets them the ball. But when they run the ball like this, that's even more impressive. And from the jump, they hit the Chicago Bears defense square in the mouth, and the Bears never responded.
Yeah, this was rough. I mean, if you're a Rams fan, congratulations. You are way better than the Bears last night. This is why the people in the power rankings world, like Dan Hansis, they're always like, it's power rankings, not power standings. Because I see 5 and 2 next to both of those logos. I guess they're in the same standings, but like this was not close. I don't think it was ever a competitive game from the first series of the game. I really mean that. Unbelievably humbling for Chicago, and we'll get to. But L.A., I'm kind of on the same page as you guys. I think we all kind of took the McVay deal and put it aside and said, he's an offensive genius and motion here and Cooper Kupp here. This was just wrestling. And I mean pro wrestling. They just body slammed the hell out of him for 4 quarters. It wasn't dazzling offensively. Power running, great defense, all over Foles. And I mean that about Leonard Floyd. Leonard Floyd, who had 2 sacks yesterday, was supposed to be the Scottie Pippen for the Bears defense on the other side of Mac. They tried. It just didn't damn work. And then, of course, the second they play him, he looks like Lawrence Taylor in a Rams uniform. So I credit the Rams for that. This NFC West thing, we're going to talk about it for the next 2 months. Still the best division in the game. Still going to come down to the wire. And if you thought for 1 second that the Rams were knocked off their kilter or just didn't have it after what happened in San Francisco, no, they're back. They are very strong. They are not pretty. They are not cute. They are not gimmicky. They are a bad team when they want to be. And last night was not a competitive game. It gives me no pleasure to say that to the Bears. The Rams kicked their bleeps for 4 quarters.
And to Mike's point, the strength of this team is their defense, right? Their stars are Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, who've been absolutely dominant to this season. I ask you, Kyle, is it a good thing that the Rams' strength is their defense in that division instead of the 2018 fireworks? In this division that's so competitive, is it better to be a high-scoring offense or have this defense the Rams do?
Well, of course, Kay, the answer is both, as we saw with Cardinals versus Seahawks. But I will say this. The only way that the Seahawks lost is because the Cardinals turned over Russ 3 times. 3 times. And I'm seeing Jalen grab balls last night. I'm seeing Donald. You better have the defense. If I had to choose one, I would say defense for turnovers. But I do believe that at the end of this thing, it's going to be the team that's clicking on both cylinders. Rams look good. Like, I defy any of us. Maybe we'll do it later in the show. Who is the best team that's going to win this thing? Really tough, really impressive division.
And also keep in mind that even though the defense is a strength and the running game is solid, the pass game is solid, like Sean McVay can dial up a pass game where he puts up 40 points. So this isn't a team that's struggling to score. I think just game by game, what makes this team great is that Sean McVay doesn't have to go in thinking to himself, I need to put up 45 points to win. And we've seen that in years past. But now this year is different. If they have a game plan where they can stifle offenses on the defensive side for the Rams, then offensively for them, if they're scoring 25, 30 points, that's good enough to win. That right there is the real luxury.
Nate, but this NFC West is different than it was in 2018. That's the team that went to the Super Bowl. Would you rather have in 2020 in that division the 2018 Rams defense, or would you rather have what you're seeing with the Rams this season so far?
I'd rather have both. And what we're seeing, a great defense with superstars on it, complemented by an offense led by Sean McVay.
Kyle. I tried, Kyle.
And how about Johnny Hecker? How about the
Tom
special teams?
He's amazing. We
Hecker.
love the Hecker. All right, we'll talk about the Bears things. Tom Pelissero is here. Mike Garafolo is here. It is a party. Tom, we are 1 week away from the trade deadline. Who are some guys that might be on the move in this weird topsy-turvy season?
Okay, when you're looking at the trade deadline, a good place to start is usually older veterans who are making a lot of money on teams that aren't playing very well. So let's start with the Cowboys. Our Ian Rappaport reported yesterday that they have made it known that defensive end Everson Griffin would be available in a trade. Everson Griffin is 32 years old. He's making $6 million this season, just starting to round into form after missing the first couple of weeks at camp before he signed. Not many pass rushers available. Griffin's name could be one to keep in mind. As is Cowboys defensive tackle Dontari Poe. He's 30, making $5 million this season. Cowboys have struggled, of course, on defense throughout this year so far. They do have some young players that they like. Poe could be another name to keep an eye on. And staying in the NFC East, the Giants are shopping some of their veterans. That includes guard Kevin Zeitler and wide receiver Golden Tate. Now, Tate, you remember, was traded at the deadline 2 years ago from Detroit to Philadelphia, then cashed in on a big deal with the Giants in free agency. He's making $8 million this season. With all this money, the new team would be responsible for roughly half of that. There are a bunch of teams with wide receiver names, so Tate, once again, could be on the move, okay?
Golden Tate has yet to notch a 50-yard receiving game this season. Interesting names to keep an eye on. Thank you so much, Tom Pelissero. Talk to you in a bit more. GMFB up ahead. We've got angry runs early this morning. And a really tough loss for the Patriots. Cam Newton called it embarrassing. Where did they go from here? We'll check in with our very own Mike Giardi next.
I'm on to something greater. Ain't nobody gonna take my crown. Okay, this is for the kids with the pressure.